And now for the time you've all been waiting for. It's what you know Berleezy for, and it was how you were first introduced to it. The Exposed series. This series for Berlin was both a blessing and a curse, because while he became massively more popular than he was and will ever be, he is still plagued by the Exposed series in a few annoying ways, even today. So are you ready to talk about how the Exposed series was a double-edged sword? Let's get it! Okay, so as I said before, the Exposed videos were videos where Berlin roasted kids' cartoons, such as Hey Arnold or SpongeBob. The main goal of these videos at first was to point out odd details of kids' cartoon openings that you wouldn't notice if you were a kid.
Alright, I told y'all to remember, right? This is the second time we've seen Helga, right? Look what this idiot does next. Why did she get on the bus? She hopped on the nearest Greyhound to find Otto going the other way? What?
But over time, the main goal of the videos just changed to roasting cartoons. The main draw of these videos was that Berlin was usually very loud and very explicit, often screaming or yelling straight into the mic. And while many people my age will be like, oh, he just yells into the mic? Wow, loud equals funny, head ass. And that is true, he does yell a lot, but it's still hilarious. And it's not like my humor is whack or anything. If you go through all of these videos and don't laugh at least once, then you might actually be brain dead.
First off, look at how this man eating this damn ice cream. You're not gonna get nowhere with that kind of tactic. Number two, did everybody order the same cone? There should be no more ice cream left. How are all those kids still there?
And there are other people who will be like, well, explicit cursing is really pointless. There are other ways to articulate yourself and be better at—
We don't give a fuck! Jesus! We don't give a fuck!
In my opinion, Exposed is one of those series that perfectly encapsulates what YouTube originally meant and what it was created for. What I mean by this is that before all the corporatization of YouTube, before all the drama, before even the Google buyout, YouTube was originally a Wild West website on the internet, where a regular person like me or you could upload anything that they wanted without any rules or restrictions like on TV, and possibly go viral. And since there were no rules or restrictions like demonetization or copyright, you could actually make a pretty creative video. Now I know the Exposed videos weren't made in that era of YouTube, but I'm just saying that it encapsulates what that era meant. Like, think about it, Berlin made these videos from a simple idea that he had, and he didn't really care about the copyright system at the time. He just made them to entertain people. And that, in my opinion, is what YouTube is originally about, a simple idea that can entertain people. It didn't matter what background you came from or how much money you made, as long as you were creative, you could be successful. But stepping back from that weird meta perspective I just gave, the Exposed series is actually just really smart overall. First of all, as I said before, it was an original idea that nobody else had came up with and nobody else had done. And okay, yeah, I'm sure that around this time other people were roasting cartoons, but not to the same extent of deafening vulgarity that Berlin was. Deafening vulgarity, okay, that's pretty good. Second of all, I would say that 2016 is probably peak vulgarity of the internet, or at least YouTube. And you would think that Berlin wouldn't stand out as much as he did, but since he roasted cartoons, it made him different from all the other meanie-head YouTubers at the time. And C, there were so many quotable and hilarious phrases that Exposed popularized. Some of my favorite phrases from the Exposed series are, "We caught you."
Nigga, don't act surprised! You have shoes and socks on, bitch! You was leaving! We caught you!
"You do great."
Damn! Did y'all see how far she jumped off the porch? If you don't jump your ass into an Olympic arena, bitch, you do great!
And my personal favorite, "Pause."
Pause! What is that? Have you ever heard of Colgate, bitch? Golly, how do you have a tongue that's perfectly green like this to the tonsils?
In fact, there are so many versatile phrases and roasts in the Exposed series that a YouTuber named LJ, no not that one, made an entire fan-made video called Everyday Bro Exposed. And it was actually so good that Berlin even reacted to it himself. I've watched this video and it actually flows pretty well, even though some of the voice clips are from completely different videos.
I want to focus my energy on making better content that fits me right now. That was the nigga in the garage. I'm not him no more. That ain't me. It ain't me no more, bro.
However, to all that positive shit that I just said, there was a big catch. See, eventually, Berlin stopped regularly making exposed videos in 2017. Now, this was because of 3 main reasons. The first one being that since Berlin held such a high position in school, his education started to take up more and more time away from his YouTube career. The second was the EEZYGANG channel, which was created in mid-2016. And over the years, the EEZYGANG channel started to become the true main channel. I mean, you know I'm right when the original Berleezy channel isn't even called Berleezy anymore. And the third reason is that Berlin as a person just changed. As I showed in the last clip, Berlin said himself that he just wasn't that person anymore, as well as he wanted his channel to be a mix of content, not just exposed. But a majority of the fans did not agree with these sentiments at all. And this is where the problem truly arises. When 90% of your fan base comes from one form of content, and you completely switch up on that content, then most likely 90% of your fan base is not going to agree with that decision. This is a problem that has been plaguing Berlin for years now, as so much of his audience has come from exposed. And to put this statement into perspective, in late 2015 when the series started to pick up some buzz, Berlin was at about 300 subs. But in January of the following year, when Exposed actually blew up, he was at 30,000, a quite literal 100 times increase. When you create something so popular to the point where it gets 11 million views, and you usually don't get 11 million views, it starts to overshadow everything else you do. You are known for that one thing, and I know there are a large amount of people who just know Berleezy as the exposed guy. How do I know this, you may be asking? Well, that was because I used to be one of those people. See, I originally found the Berleezy channel in 2017. I watched all of the exposed videos, and once I was done, I obviously wanted more. Then I was pointed in the direction of the gaming channel, but it wasn't exposed, so I never really checked it out. 2019 is when I actually rediscovered Berleezy, and I've been a fan ever since. I guarantee you that there are many people in the EEZYGANG community who have a similar experience, and there are many more people who never came back, never gave Berlin a second chance. Exposed is the defining feature of Berleezy's channel. It's what you know him for, and unlike other YouTubers, I don't think that Berlin can outdo its success. And I don't think he ever will. And even though that fact may be true, and even though Berlin still gets comments about Exposed till this day, he still hits them with the same reply every time.
Bro, just go in like you used to.
Man, fuck that, bro. It's not like the comments, bro. It's been years. I don't want to do that shit no more. I'm looking forward to some new shit.
But besides all the exposed shenanigans, there were a few more important events that happened in this era. I think it's important to mention now that as a kid, Berlin tried and became proficient at many different things, such as hooping, rapping, or singing. And speaking of rapping and singing, Berleezy has many different songs and freestyles in his videos that are entertaining on their own. But later in his career, he became so popular that other small YouTubers and beatmakers would actually put beats on these songs, which would make the songs 10 times better and to the point where you could actually listen to them in your day-to-day life. Some of these songs include Yuki, Kurt Angle, and my personal favorite, Copyright Strikes.
Copyright strikes, I really don't like copyright strikes.
Copyright strike. Here this nigga go. That's what let's listen to what he's singing about.
Like other YouTubers, when Berlin was blowing up in 2016, he went through that phase where he meets a bunch of other content creators. Obviously, when there are millions of views on a video, there are reactors there as well, kinda like flies on dead bodies, and Berlin actually got to meet some of them. The two most important reactors that Berlin met was Dante and Dwayne and Jazz. The reason I say that is because they would all become close friends later. Also around this time, Berlin would meet another group of creators that were blowing up just like him. And those creators were named RDC World 1.
Gotta blast it.
Now I know what you're saying, RDC isn't really a part of EEZYGANG, or at least that's how I see him. I see him as a separate entity, and I think everybody else does. But this is my video, and they're my second favorite YouTubers, so... But anyways, I think the first skit that these guys made together was the Roach skit, and I actually really like this one.
It's a roach, so we gotta split up and find it. It's gonna be in places we don't expect. So Desmond, I'm gonna need you to go in the living room and wait for that hoe to come through there. And Leland, I'm gonna need you to go to the back and look for it.
Back? I'm not going to the back. That's where all them niggas die.
We have guns.
Come on, bro, just go.
It's a roach.
Just go. A roach? A roach that dropped 2 niggas?
Not only because it's freaking hilarious, but the color also fits the tone very well. It's very desaturated, and usually I prefer vibrant colors over this dark, bland bullshit, but I think it works here because RDC barely ever makes any of their stuff that desaturated, and it makes the Roach stick out from the rest of the skits that they've made. Also around this time, Berleezy would drop his first pieces of merch. And I think that this is where the EEZYGANG Volume 1 Jet Black or Bamboo Forest Brown Limited Edition Collector Edition shades came out, I think. Now, I don't have any of the Volume 1 merch, but I do have this sick-ass Volume 2 hoodie. I also have PG's first hoodie, but when I washed it for the first time, it got fucked up on the back. But I don't really care about that because I know for a fact that some of y'all don't even wash these bitches despite wearing them every day to school. So yeah, I'll let you think about that one. Berlin's sub count around this time was about 1 million, and I'm not going to elaborate any further because we know why he hit 1 million, so for future reference I'm not going to be mentioning the sub counts for future eras until we reach the actual era where he reached 2 million subscribers. Also, from now on, when I'm saying main channel, I'm referring to Berlin's first channel that he made, and when I say gaming channel, Berleezy, or second channel, I actually mean like the gaming channel, the second channel that he made. And as for my favorite video in this era, I'd say just go watch the whole Exposed series. I mean, I honestly can't pick one. They're all equally good in the funny, and I truly cannot decide which one is really better. I mean, I'd say like the closest one is probably Dora Exposed, but that's like everybody's favorite. And I don't want to be like a sellout or like basically a sheep, but I really just don't know. But wrap it up, just wrap it up.